So essentially, it goes from having no color to having color. It goes from an X factor to a Y factor. The electron is female because of mitochondria, the fact that it's a force carrier and a particle. Not to mention, it's actually a virtual particle also. Yes, it's a real particle, but it has virtual particle traits. We know that through the double slit experiment and the uncertainty principle. Not to mention the egg shell around a nucleus, and nuclear DNA is male. So we do live in a binary dot matrix. Now, if we take dots and run a sound frequency through it, we get patterns. And this is dot theory with sound frequency. Sound and light are symbiotic. That's why water reacts the same way with sound. Fluidity, the plasma universe, the waters of space, movement and motion. Take a laser, light, dot, run a sound frequency through it, and look what it does. That's the analemma right there. See, the dot of light, you track it, you have the analemma right there. It's just on our scale, it doesn't move as fast because we're so small. It's all about scaling. The universe isn't hard to understand in a philosophical sense at all. You have to understand it conceptually and fundamentally before you can apply the numbers anywhere. It needs a fundamental backbone first. Otherwise, you're just flying blind. You have numbers that are random and paradoxes and holes. You don't know where the numbers go. It's like, where does this number go? Where does this one go? We don't know because we need a fundamental framework first. And we're throwing out the laws of thermodynamics and conservation of energy, which totally confounds the situation. And then they claim, oh, nobody understands the universe. Well, that's a lie. That's them enforcing the fact that nobody will understand if you keep listening to that. It's not hard to understand. It's a very simple construct. It can only do the same thing over and over and over because it's just something floating around in space. That's as simple as the universe gets. It's a thing that just floats around in space that ties to just sound and light. It can all be broken down into a binary system because we live in a binary universe. Why do you think they confound the sexes so much? Because they don't want people to understand binary. We don't live in a simulation. We live in reality. There's not a computer code that shows up in the universe. There's a universal code that shows up in our computers. Thinking of it reversed, it confounds the situation. It takes the realness away from everything and makes it superficial. And when you look at things like this, it's like, well, everything doesn't matter. Physicists prove the universe doesn't exist. Well, I can clearly observe a universe. I know everything exists. Our universe is not logically real. You get stupid shit like this. And I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just trying to say, man, we need to start touching ground on reality. We need to get ourselves back in reality. And people act like I'm an ass because I want to help people understand something. And because they were fooled, it makes them feel like I'm shaming them. I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just trying to say, look, they're lying to us about stuff. Subtle things, really important things. They give us 99% truth, 1% lie, like I said. But that 1% lie is a very fundamental factor that we need to understand to be able to put things into perspective.